Good afternoon. This video was inspired and is for our cousin Angeletta. This is a great book. It's a great resource. We're using this book, and the gal who wrote it seems to be just a great gal. I like this book. Two reasons. Gives you a lot of concepts of what's going on, what's happening. Gives you some history about fermented foods and whatnot, and it gives you some really great recipes. And one thing I like that she does is she walks you through the whole process, where afterwards she gives you a tip to say, hey, now that you've done this, go try these different aspects, so that way you don't really have to worry about being creative. She helps you with that. So with that, today we are making her recipe called kimchi. Now, it's not the typical Asian kimchi because I think it's missing a few pieces like the Asian fish sauce and whatnot, but it's a pretty simple recipe. It's cabbage, it's onions, green onions here, it's shredded carrots, it's ginger root. It also calls for garlic, but we found that to be really strong on the smell and on the flavor, so we didn't really dig that. We've actually replaced it with turmeric, and that's about all the turmeric you need. Turmeric adds a really fun color to it, but also kind of an interesting flavor. It's good. It also talks about chili flakes because it's kimchi. We use this because it's not spicy, and I like the spice, but my family doesn't, so that's why we use these. I suppose you could use crushed red pepper instead, but you know, that I'll leave that up to everybody. And then it also asks for sea salt. This is really important. You want to get sea salt without iodine, because the concept here is you're taking the whey and you're taking all the probiotics and you're trying to make them break down the long starches here, and that makes it a food that your body can handle better. And so if you have iodine, it's going to start killing those things. So that's why you want regular sea salt, no iodine. And then the last ingredient is whey. And that's kind of where we'll start here. Is basically what I do is I just take the yogurt out of the fridge, and it's just regular yogurt that we got downtown, and you just take one of these coffee filters, funnels, right? And then you take a coffee filter, and what you do is you just take the yogurt and spoon it in there to just about full, maybe a quarter or half inch below full. It'll then drip in here, and then what you're left with is the whey, and then also a pretty decent cheese. It's kind of a sour, but it's a really soft, really mild cheese. It's really fun. And then I just take one of these picnic tents, and then I just put it on this, and I leave it on the counter just like that overnight. And then in the morning, I've got my whey. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this veggies prepped, and we'll be right back, and we'll show you how we prep the veggies and what we do there. And as you can see, it doesn't take a whole lot of things, Angeletta. Just a regular cheese grater. I would say the specialty tool you would need is one of these rasps. If you don't have a rasp like this in the kitchen, you need to get one anyways because they're really fun. And then the other two things we need to do is a big pot. I like a big pot. We probably don't need it this big, but it's easier to toss it and to get all the ingredients together, and it's not going to be messy. It's going to hold the mess in. If you had a big regular bowl, that'd probably just as well. And then a jar like this, I'll explain that later. So we'll see you in a minute.